Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Arirang News coming live from our news center in Seoul. I'm Shin Sa-min. We are coming on the air to bring you live coverage of a briefing from South Korea's health authorities for the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. In moments' time, we will be cutting over to a briefing site where the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures headquarters for the latest official tally on that COVID-19 situation here in the nation. And we will also be giving you a live interpretation of the officials' remarks in English. As we came on the air, we have learned that the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases here in South Korea has reached over 9,786 as of this morning, up 125 from the day before. And we also learned that the death toll is at 162, up by 4 from yesterday. As for the number of cured, it's at 5,408. And we will be getting more of the details in the briefings. That's our live feed from the briefing site. Let's take it to Kim Kang-lip, the Vice Health Minister, for the latest.
Let us now begin our regular briefing for March 31st, Tuesday. As of today, midnight, we have a total of 4,216 who are in quarantine. And 5,408 have been discharged following full recovery. And the death toll stands at 162. Yesterday, we had 125 more patients yesterday, and we had 4 more deaths of yesterday, unfortunately. And out of the 125 newly confirmed cases, 96 were the confirmed cases in the nation, and 70% of them were related to churches and nursing hospitals. And we see that the cluster infection within the country is a major reason for the outbreak. And 25 were related to inbound cases from abroad, and 15 were confirmed at the airport, while the rest of the 16 were reported during the community. And aside from one, all of the rest were Korean nationals. Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun convened a KCC meeting this morning, and he touched upon issues of the supply of face masks, as well as the transportation support for those coming from abroad. And he also touched upon the issue of the opening of the schools, and we will have a separate briefing for this during the afternoon. And Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun has said that he listened to the opinions of the community, education circles, and the parents. And many think that it is yet difficult to send their children to school. And we have been exerting our full efforts to open the school as scheduled. However, we believe that there is more room for improvement. And thus, he decided to open the school online next week. And he says that this online opening of the school will require guaranteeing students the devices as well as internet access. And he also urged related ministries to provide support. And since 22nd of March, the government has been promoting the enhanced social distancing campaign. And we have also advised high-risk facilities, businesses, and sectors to limit their operation. And with the enhanced social distancing campaign, we have been seeing a decrease and stabilization of the outbreak, centering around the number of 100. However, we are still seeing sporadic outbreaks and also the increase of the inbound cases. And we are in the second week of practicing the enhanced social distancing campaign, and thus many of our public had to sacrifice their everyday life joys, and they have been fully participating in our campaign. We thank them very much. And the government would like to say that we are trying to exert our full efforts, but we are sorry and pitiful that we have not yet yielded success. Despite such exerted efforts from the government, we are still witnessing sporadic outbreaks from the community, and we see that we could also have another second wave of the outbreak within our community. Therefore, if we have a delay in delay in furthering the curve of the outbreak here in the nation. We believe that it will be very highly risky. And we would like to urge you once again to participate in our enhanced social distancing campaign. And we thank you for your support put forward so far. And regarding the facilities and the transportation support for those who are coming in from Korea is as follows. Starting from the midnight of tomorrow, everyone, all inbound travelers need to go on 2 weeks of self-quarantine. For the long-term staying foreigners and Korean nationals, they will be required to have go under self-quarantine for 14 days. And for short-term foreigners, they would be admitted to a separate designated facility. We believe that such measure will decrease the number of short-term foreigners visiting Korea. And we believe that the number of the short-term visits by foreigners has reduced to 50 per day. And with this strengthened measure, we believe that this number will decrease going forward. We have secured 9 facilities with about 1,600 rooms for these foreigners. However, if we see a rise in the number of short-term visitors who are foreigners, we will be ready to expand the number of facilities for them. And we will be monitoring closely the number of foreigners coming into Korea. And if they are admitted to these facilities, the foreigners will need to pay their own expenses. And regardless of their nationality, the living expenses support will not be provided for those foreigners. And for long-term foreigners who are staying here in Korea long-term and Korean nationals, they will be mandated for 14 days of self-quarantine. They need to go under great and strict control by the local authorities. And we will also activate the reporting by the community on any breaches of these self-quarantine guidelines. And we will abide by the principle of non-tolerance, and we will urge all of those who are coming in from abroad to abide by the self-quarantine measures and guidelines. These guidelines are important to monitor the conditions of these individuals who are coming in. However, it is also a very important duty for these people as part of the community to further curb the spread of the virus. Starting from tomorrow, all of those who are coming in from abroad are advised to use their own vehicles when traveling to their homes from the airport. However, for those who do not have their own cars, we will provide the KTX as well as a bus, the airport limousines, to have them transport for their transportation. And for those who are, for the foreigners who do not have their own cars, we will provide airport limousines and KTX so that they could move to the local cities, and the local municipalities will also provide additional transportation routes. And we will also have rest facilities in between these the routes so that we can prevent these inbound travelers from contacting the citizens of South Korea. And we will also have a separate limousine buses just for rush hour. And aside from the residents of Jeju Island, for all of the inbound travelers, we will prevent them from using domestic flights. And they will be advised to use KTX and bus limousines. And next is on our government support for the Korean nationals who are living in Italy. Italy is witnessing a surge in the outbreak, and we are seeing a high fatality rate, and most of the regions have been locked down. Therefore, 530 people, Korean nationals, will be arriving to Korea via 2 airplanes, and they will be Korean nationals and their families. And each of these the flights will also have the medical experts as well as the staff members of the foreign ministry to provide any support that are needed. And before they aboard the flight, they will have to submit a health condition survey, and they would have to have their temperature tested, as well as they on the flight they would sit with certain distance from each other. And upon arrival, if they have symptoms, they would be moved to a designated facility and they will be tested. And if they are tested positive, they will be admitted to hospitals or treatment centers, depending on the severity of their symptoms. If we have at least more than one confirmed case of all of those who have flown in from Italy, we will mandate every one of them to be tested, and they would be staying at our designated facility. And after 14 days of quarantine, they will also be tested once again, and then they will be released to their respective homes. And this is provided by the support of the pan-government support from the related ministries. And in relation to this, we would like to ask your support in protecting and highlighting the importance of the human rights and dignity of these Korean nationals coming in from Italy. And the coronavirus has also brought about the financial burden on many people. Therefore, the government is providing the incentive coupons, and these also apply to the Gyeongbuk and Jeonnam province and Haenam as well, and Ponghwa as well. And they will be given these incentives in terms of certificates, and they will be given out starting from today. And they will be the families of more than 4 people. They would receive over 1 million Korean won per family, and this will be given in the terms of coupons and the vouchers, so that they could be used in the local municipalities in order to facilitate the economic activities within that community. And these coupons will be given out regardless of the need to apply for them, and they just need to be eligible for a certain level of income. And we ask the local municipalities to participate in giving these coupons as soon as possible. And we are seeing a continuous increase in the outbreak here in Korea. Therefore, we believe that practicing social distancing campaign is very important. If you feel sick, refrain from going outdoors and going from outings, and stay at home and monitor your conditions for 3 to 4 days. Because coronavirus can be very contagious even at the beginning, we believe that curbing the outbreak at the initial age is very important. If you have symptoms like fever or respiratory symptoms like coughing or sneezing or runny nose, we advise you to stay at home and refrain from people-to-people contact. And also, if you have family members, you need to wear your mask even at home. And also, if you live together with the elderly and as well as those with chronic illnesses, we believe that you should maintain certain distance from them. If in case you need to make essential travels to outside, like buying necessities, we believe that you need to wear your face masks. We also ask for the participation by the businesses sector as well. We would like to thank the public for your participation and your enhanced high level of civil awareness. And just like you did, if you cooperate continuously with our quarantine authorities, we believe that our country can overcome the outbreak. Thank you very much.
There you have it. Just to recap some of the details and the numbers we just heard, South Korean official has confirmed that we have now 9,786 confirmed coronavirus-related cases here in the nation, with the death toll standing at 162. And he also cited the number of released after being cured now stands at 5,408. A lot to digest, but the official also said that one of the major reasons behind the continued rise in the number of infected cases from the virus is due to cluster and group infections within the country, and also stressed the importance of continuing the social distancing measures over the daily life conveniences. And the official also brushed upon Prime Minister's previous announcement earlier this morning that said that the country will be delaying new school year from April 6th and will begin online classes starting Wednesday next week on April 9th, that is. And he also reminded the public once again that the 2-week mandatory self-isolation for all entrants will begin at the strike of midnight on April 1st, which is starting tomorrow. That is focusing on regardless of their nationality or which country they flew in from. And he also added that the government will monitor the inflow of the people coming in from outside of the country. And lastly, he also announced that South Korean government will be bringing in its nationals from Italy, one of the hardest hit nations of COVID-19 across the world. He said a total of 530 nationals will be brought back home via 2 chartered flights, one on April 1st and the other on April 2nd. That does it for us at this hour, but our next news lineup will be up at noon Korea time, which will be less than 1 hour from now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.